Hey babes, happy Wednesday. Welcome into my channel. Today we're gonna do another TikTok compilation of a few random things. So I hope you all love it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. My boyfriend has a Neuralink. I know that there are 3 people, I think it's 3 on record, who have the Neuralink because it's not publicly available. But he has got to be in some top secret beta testing group. We were just on a road trip, and he must have blacked out and forgot that I was sitting next to him in the car, because not on a call, nothing like that, he starts doing stuff like this. It went on for a while. And finally, I just was like, you got a Neuralink? And I thought that he would think it was funny, but instead he got really defensive. Why would you say that? Like, bad acting. So, I don't know. He drives a Tesla. There's something going on. I'm not a dummy. I feel like I'm in an episode of Black Mirror, to be honest with you.
The reason why the world is loose in color.
Remember when cars came in more shades than just bland? Back in the day, cars were like Skittles on wheels, bright reds, sunny yellows, and electric blues. Now, we're living in a sea of Tesla grays and beige sedans. But why? Is it just a trend, or is there something deeper happening here? Imagine this, a world where vibrant colors slowly vanish, replaced by dull shades. It's not just about design choices, it's about vibes. Bright colors spark joy, creativity, even rebellion. Dull colors, they make us blend in, feel uninspired, easier to control. Think about it. What if this shift is a subtle way to lower our collective spirit? To make us more obedient, more beige?
I talk a lot about color psychology and the whole idea of why it works, but the bottom line is that colors really can change the mood of a room, and it's the single most important element that a designer has to work with when they're creating mood in a room, is the colors, the amount of color contrast. So it starts with the colors you choose, whether they're light, whether they're grayed down, whether they're very dark, whether they're intense, but then also how they contrast with the other colors in the room. That's what creates the energy, or sometimes the lack of energy when you want something very calming and relaxing. But colors absolutely can change the way you feel and the way a room feels.
On January 28, 1986, the world watched as NASA's Challenger space shuttle exploded shortly after liftoff. The world mourned the loss of the 7 astronauts who were on board. However, 20 years later, investigators would discover that the 7 crew members never actually boarded the shuttle that fateful day. Now I know what you're thinking. You're ready to call bullshit on this one, but let me stop you right here. The evidence that you are about to see will absolutely blow your mind. Sure, you've probably heard a dozen media outlets calling this a cooked-up conspiracy theory, but nothing could be further from the truth. Many people remember watching the explosion happen live on television, I myself being one of them. There is no doubt in my mind that the explosion was very real. In this video, we will examine footage from various sources that not only prove that 5 of the 7 Challenger crew members are alive and well today, but will also shed light on the possible reasons why they were not on board. 3 of the 5 astronauts, Judy Resnick, Richard Scobie, and Michael J. Smith. These 3 crew members were not only found to be alive, but they were still using their original names. You may be wondering, why wouldn't they change their names? And the answer is relatively simple. Their names were not too well known, and in 1986, living under the radar was much easier prior to the internet age. Is it possible that these 3 astronauts could have living doppelgangers that just so happen to have the same names? Not likely, and here's why. Although Michael J. Smith is a common name, The names of the other two astronauts, Judy Resnik and Richard Scobie, are exceptionally uncommon. For example, there are only 6 women currently living in the United States with the name Judy or Judith Resnik, and there are only 16 men named Richard, Rick, Rich, or Dick Scobie. What are the chances that all 3 of these astronauts would have living doppelgangers with the same names? I'll let you ponder on these odds for a moment. The other 2 astronauts, Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka, both supposedly have living twin brothers named Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. However, no birth records could be found for either one of them. What's even more interesting is this. Let's take a look at this footage from then-President Ronald Reagan's memorial service for the Challenger crew. Here we can see the parents and siblings of Ellison Onizuka. But where is his living twin brother Claude? And here we can see the family of Ronald McNair, but his living twin brother Carl is nowhere to be seen. The reason Carl and Claude were not in attendance for their deceased brother's memorial is the same reason why there are no birth records for either of them. They do not exist. An investigator tracked down Challenger pilot Michael J. Smith and conducted a field interview, which he later posted on social media.
Is Challenger pilot Michael J. Smith alive and well? Take a look at the footage and let me know what you think. Hey there. Hey, sorry to bother you. I was pulling out and I saw you. I just came by to... Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Professor at university?
Retired.
Retired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just stopped by because there's this room. Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet
It's not me.
that people are saying...
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me. I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not, if you really look at facial recognition.
You've never been a pilot, never been in the military?
Nothing like that.
Huh.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I don't respond to the emails I get. I get probably an email, maybe 2 a month.
Really?
And I got one guy that's been really hounding me, and I turned it over to the FBI.
Really?
But, I mean, it's bullshit.
Okay.
Another crazy theory.
Okay.
But that's, not me.
All right.
I'm glad I wasn't him, but he was quite a guy.
Yeah.
But if you look at my career, you look at my CV that's online, all the stuff I've published, all that I've done, it's not even close to what that guy was.
Okay. Yeah, you just sure look alike. It's the same name.
I know the facial thing, but that's what we looked like, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Voice analysis of the living Judy Resnik, compared to the Challenger astronaut Judy Resnik, confirms that they are indeed the same person.
I am hoping that the affliction that Steve Hawley had from the 41D mission specialist of the delays hasn't rubbed off on me.
For a very long arm, which is as long as the cargo bay, it's 50 feet long.
The image lets you see all of the current contemporary issues. All courts shall be open, property remedy by due course of law. You can find these. The equal justice under law becomes that we thought courts were all along. It says equal justice under law.
There are many possible reasons why the crew did not board the Challenger that day. One theory is that the Challenger's final mission was deceptively unmanned due to limited funding and to maintain NASA's position as the world leader in space exploration. Clues uncovered in a documentary produced by National Geographic on the Challenger disaster seem to support this theory.
When Space Shuttle Challenger launches on a January morning in 1986, a key engineer is sure a catastrophe is coming.
We've got to stop the flight. We cannot let Challenger launch, period. This is insane.
He thinks the ship is going to explode. After 2 decades of budget cuts and a loss of public interest, the shuttle has never made good on its promise to provide a routine bus service to space. The 25th shuttle launch will be far more than just another trip into orbit. It's designed to resurrect the entire program. NASA hoped to restore faith in their billion-dollar baby.
And like Krista said, you know, Mom, she said that shuttle, they can shut that down the very last second if anything's wrong.
In the months following the disaster, Morton Thiokol paid the astronauts' families around $4.6 million, but were awarded a $1.8 billion contract to develop a new range of rocket boosters. NASA's Lawrence Malloy was offered a promotion to Deputy Director of All Propulsion Systems.
Now let me ask you this. If you were offered $4.7 million to pretend that your loved one was deceased, would you do it? Of course you would. I think you get the gist of what I'm saying here.
What have we here?
Y'all, look at how she is carrying those cinder blocks in her hands. Y'all think this woman can carry that many blocks of cement?
Hey kids, make it fast. I've got a plane to catch.
We've created a magazine. Mr. Trump, we give you Scabby.
Possibly more of an observation, but I'm interested to hear all of your thoughts. We are all very lucky that we are across the channel and we are the far side of Europe. But Ukraine is actually much closer than all of us think.
Notice the people sitting next.
In that line, she says, the question was asked, okay, if someone were to leave here today, were to leave this interview and were to suggest or imply that when you said the laptop was real, that it meant that the FBI had affirmatively determined in October 2020 that...
Nominee saying that they're willing to work with me amounts to exactly zero. We need to get this fixed. Thank you.
Hey, hold on a second. And you see it's nothing but wood. Okay, so we're gonna go down over here and I'll show you a little more, okay? See here. And at an angle. Okay, all this, everything, this whole mountain in a 100-mile radius.
How old do you guys believe the Earth to be? Nothing in me thinks that the Earth is millions of years old. That just doesn't align biblically for me or what I have experienced in life, the places I've gone and the things that I've seen. I do believe that the Earth is about 7,000 years old. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts.
Watching this, that's the news from the tornado. Y'all watch when I put play. You see up in the cloud. Watch them people walk out the car.
We then had to pull over because that's when emergency crews were headed towards Wynn. We saw an ambulance. We saw a fire truck headed that way. And so we are almost there, but we're not even in Wynn yet. And this is the damage we're seeing. We saw a few people kind of outside. It looks like they may have been possibly...
This is a really old, I don't even know how old this is. It's a paperweight. But if you take a look up here, where it says Tartaria, right there, attached to America. Septembrinalis. Look at that.
Is that a dragon?
Used to be a giant landmass. Check that out. That is crazy. Okay, this is the paperweight from the earlier video. Bulbo di Tanza. There's a unicorn, Pegasus, giant boar, looks like camel, dromedary of some sort. Here's the crazy part. Called Antor, Russia, Asia, Tartaria. America. And that's weird.
So my kiddo found this at a thrift store. He's really into geography and cartography. So this was a neat find. And as we looked at it and we got over here.
Also, y'all, are they still teaching Pangea in schools?
What happened to them research monkeys that got loose like a month ago? Down south. It was like 20 of them. That shit just faded to black.
When I heard that story about the monkeys, I thought it was crazy. I'm not sure if this is the same one from a few years ago, but apparently a woman was also bitten by one of the monkeys when she was trying to help it, save it, catch it, I don't know. But very weird. And I didn't believe the story at the time, and given that the news has not come out saying that they were able to catch any of the monkeys. No one has seen any of the monkeys. They're just out there and the story just disappeared as if they didn't make it seem like it was a huge security risk to everyone in the area. Just blows my mind how things can just come and go like that.
You just can't unsee it once you've seen it.
Donald in Red Shoe Review. Good time. Great taste. That's why this is our place. After you. The good time, great taste of McDonald's.
Good time, great taste. That's why this is our place.
The good time, great taste of McDonald's.
Tick-tock diva. Humma humma cool, humma tick-tock diva. Humma humma dance, humma tick-tock diva.
Jump in.
Wow.
Good time.
Yeah.
Great taste. Oh,
McDonald's. Good time, great taste. That's why this is our place. The good time.
The world population could easily exceed 8 billion by the year 2020. The negative impact of population growth on all of our planetary ecosystems is becoming appallingly evident. Unless nations will agree to work together to tackle these cross-border challenges posed by population growth, overconsumption of resources, and environmental degradation, the prospects for a decent life on our planet will be threatened.
Yo,
be careful what you have on your phone when you're traveling. I just got back to the U.S., right, because the boat returned to the U.S., and upon coming, I was randomly searched. And these dudes, they asked me a bunch of questions. I'm thinking everything's cool, right? And then right at the end, they're like, okay, we got one more step for you. This is an electronic search. So what that mean? They bring me to a back room. They make me take everything off, anything I got on me. They told me I need to give up the phone. And for me, at first I'm like, whoa, give up the phone? There's no way you're going through my phone. And they giving me the little pamphlet. They're like, basically, we ain't no regular cops. Like, you coming back into the United States, this is Customs and Border. Anything you bring in, we could search it. And yeah, I had to give up my phone. Had to let them search through that whole thing. I be trying to know my rights, right? But it's like, this ain't no police. It's the Customs and Border Protection League. It's federal. So yeah, basically, I had no rights in that situation. I had to give up everything. They searched through everything they wanted. And yeah, be careful. Even if you're coming on a cruise or whatever you're doing, if you're traveling, when you come back to the U.S., you could randomly get searched like me. So if you got something on your phone for me, don't be dumb. They gonna look through the whole shit, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Oh, wow. Oh, on your chest, huh? So we're lying today. Are you a gangbanger? Is that what you're doing here? You're selling drugs?
It's me.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Okay,
Don't
I'm
move.
sitting in the parking lot.
Don't move. You have a license to carry this?
We're in Florida, right?
But do you have a...
I sure enough do.
Okay.
You know what?
It's called the... Hey, buddy.
It's around my neck.
It's called the concealed carry permit.
Listen, my license is around my neck.
Oh.
I carry it around my neck.
Okay. Well, first, let's see what else you got. See if you're lying a bit. Hey, didn't I spread your feet apart? Spread your feet apart, huh? Fucking... Oh, shit.
This is what we're doing?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Listen, can you make sure you get my
What is this?
Can you make sure you get my license to carry? My license to carry on my chest.
Is this fake? You know, a lot of people like to act like they're cops.
Federal agent.
Oh, right. Where's the ID? Let's check the ID. Do me a favor.
Federal agent.
Okay.
So now my badge don't even make a
Lean
difference.
against the car. Lean against the car. Lean against the car. So you're a cop. So why wouldn't you tell me?
It seemed like you fraudulently pulled me over.
You been drinking today?
Drinking, sir. We don't drink.
I smell alcohol emanating from the vehicle.
Actually, we're doing an investigation on.
Okay.
And just what? You just happened to pass.
216. Status of that back up.
You just happened to pass.
Okay.
So when your sergeant gets here and he realizes what's going on right now.
What's going on is that I stopped. I stopped.
The badge don't make a difference.
Where's the? Okay. So I found your ID.
Because here I have a cop who's doing some things that's wrong. Tell me why, as a police officer. Tell me why another police officer in handcuffs.
You didn't
Over a swerve?
You didn't identify yourself as a police officer. You were swerving. You didn't indicate your turn signal.
Once again, sir, you didn't call your sergeant here neither.
There's
so
no
the things that we supposed to do here, right?
Okay. All right. Let me get these off of you, buddy. I don't know why you're being like this. I don't know why you're being like this.
I don't know
hey,
what y'all got going on here.
What y'all got going on?
I'll tell you what.
You know, you
we as
just,
agents, we're gonna figure it out. You know, we don't like city cops. You know that, right?
Okay, yeah, we don't like federal cops either.
Agents don't like city cops.
We're alphabet
we don't
cops.
consider ourselves cops.
What are you, a pencil pusher? Come on. Listen, you could have just. I pulled you over. You could have just identified yourself as a police officer, and this would have been done. Of course it was.
When I showed you my badge and you grabbed my badge, you still didn't believe it was real.
Because people impersonate officers all the time.
Okay.
Do they not?
When I see a sergeant, I'll make sure. When I see your sergeant, we'll make sure.
Well, we don't have to go that far. Okay.
No, we won't. We'll go farther than that.
Oh, okay.
We'll make sure we talk to them. We'll make sure we do a lot of things on this. And I'm pretty sure you probably have other offenses against you. But you have a nice day. I continue to have a mind.
Listen.
I appreciate you, sir.
Listen.
Sir, I appreciate you.
You have a good day.
Thank you much.
Happy. See, you cancel that back up.
There's so much in that interaction to unpack. Firstly, the FBI agent didn't have to identify himself for the cop to not be racist and disrespectful. You don't have to treat people like that. And if he was just conducting a regular search, all the unnecessary comments don't help at all. He was very rude and aggressive. And then on top of that, after he did find out that he was an FBI agent, then he started to blame him for his actions. Disgusting. Hopefully he faced some kind of disciplinary actions, and I really hope that he's not a cop anymore, because he's definitely harassing other people.
Holy sh! State Farm executive busted bragging about the pre-orchestrated 22% rate hikes that are coming for the victims of the LA wildfires. The State Farm executive seen here was on a Tinder date where Mr. Executive thought it'd be a great idea to start bragging about how LA fire victims shouldn't be allowed to rebuild. They should have never lived there. And we're going to raise rates on them by 22%. And thank God for whoever this woman is to whip out her phone and start recording. And he just goes on and on and on. And as you can see at the very top, State Farm's already filed for this rate hike. These people have already gone through everything. And State Farm is about to raise their rates by 22%. Are you kidding me? What world are we living in? Oh, the one where companies are basically running our government.
Is this true that dimensional portals are real? Watch this.
Construction workers are underground working on a government building project. Inside what seems like an ordinary tunnel, something incomprehensible happens that none of them have ever seen before.
It's as if the tunnel has come alive and it's breathing.
The tunnel seems to move as a cloud, repeatedly and very suddenly, appearing and disappearing. Workers who witness it are terrified, including Juan Antonio Sanchez.
La tierra empezó a rugir, como de un león. Eso produce mucho temor porque en cualquier momento uno creía que el túnel se podía derrumbar o que podía... Temimos mucho por nuestras vidas.
Footage of the weird pulsing energy baffles scientists.
There's also this booming sound that's associated with it.
Is this dangerous? Is the whole thing going to collapse?
What the hell's going on here?
Physicist Chad Orzel reviews the footage and considers an incredible theory.
There's a very regular pulsation, so it seems like something must be controlling it. If you were going to imagine an intergalactic portal to a distant galaxy, this is what it would look like.
Many physicists are convinced they exist, but nothing like it has ever been filmed. A wormhole or Stargate is considered by some to be a possible future means of interstellar travel.
These kinds of wormholes are frequently used as ways to travel interstellar distances in space. They show up in the movie Stargate, they show up in the movie Interstellar as long-distance travel arrangements. So this seems like a really great idea.
Stargates and wormholes sound like science fiction, but some of the greatest minds in science believe they might be possible.
Introduced by Albert Einstein himself in 1935, a wormhole is a shortcut, a subway system connecting two distant points in space and time.
Use
Oh my goodness! Whoa! Oh my goodness! It's here, it's everywhere.
What do you want? No! This is Israel! Shoot!
I've seen a lot of videos of British people attacking Christians. But also there's too many men standing around while this guy is
You're not allowed to
I love you, my brother.
Yeshua is the King of Kings! Jesus Christ! Yeshua is the King of Kings! Yeshua is the King of Kings! Jesus is the King of Kings! Jesus is the King of Kings! Jesus is
Hi friends, another shocker du jour from the home of the shocker du jour. No, a shocker du jour left behind. What do we have here? Well, these are called Bentonite Hills, I believe. Bentonite is a type of clay. There's another form of clay called kaolin clay, K-O-L-I-N, kaolinic pronounces. It begins with a K. Very, very fine, powdery clay. This is a little more dense clay. But look at the colors. Look at the patterns. Look at the people. This is big stuff. And this is biology. It's pure and simple. Okay, this is bentonite clay, and it's a more gritty clay than kaolin clay. They call it kaolin. This is bentonite. Now you see all these colors and see the layers? Nobody has an explanation for that, although I do. And I understand what it is. It's transition metals that are, this was an area where there was a lot of blood. This is all biology, and every one of those layers is another type of layer in the tissue of a body of a gigantic, enormous creature. And in this particular situation, when it petrified, the metals found stability with the clays. And certain layers of that clay are not all the same, very, very close, but not exact. So each layer takes on a different color to form stability with the transition metals. Now let me show you something about stomachs. This, my friends, is what's inside of stomachs, all these balls. You say, oh, come on, that's not in a stomach. Well, yes, it is. You want to know how I can tell you? Here's why. You see that? That's inside of a stomach. Exactly what I just showed you. That's what's in a stomach. All right, and then there's all kinds of other intestinal and tissues and colon and all that stuff, which I will show you now in a gigantic form, just like that one. You see that? I believe that's some form of intestinal tissue. This guy's standing on some here. They call it pillow basalt. Well, it's biology. Call it anything you want. But that guy's standing on it right there. You see that? You say, oh, that's just magma. Magma did this. Everything is magma when they can't explain it. They just, oh, yeah, that's a volcano, magma. You see, this is the Vermilion Cliffs. This is out in the Midwest, or the western United States. It's incredible. It's just blood gushing out of this. It looks like, to me, it's either intestine, colon. I don't think it's stomach tissue, but it might be. Hard to tell you, but it's just all over. It's everywhere. That's literally blood coming out of there. This stuff is just enormous. It needs to be reconsidered, let me put it that way. I'm pretty sure this is intestinal villi, but there's absolutely no question it's biology. He says, this time I've seen a lot of cliffs. I've never seen anything like this before. I think that's what he's looking at, only it's sort of hanging down. And this is what they look like in a microscope shot. And there's a lot of biology going on in here. This stuff is just, it's so beyond incredible. It's hard to describe. It's just phenomenal. What the human body can do, and how it's constructed, and how intricate, and how many tiny little pieces there are that have to do their job correctly. It's just stunning. Anybody that lives to be more than 15 minutes old, it's just amazing. The complexity, absolutely amazing. I'm just going to run through these kind of quick. It's going to take some time. I showed you the intestinal villi. I showed you the stomach lining. I showed you the stomach lining here. That's the bentonite clays. Vermilion Cliffs, whatever that is. I think that's the villi. This is the interstitium balls. You see these little tiny balls here? That's what we're just looking at below, and I'll show you in a second. They're called Moki marbles. You see all these little strips here? This is what we're seeing on these mountains. You see all these different colors. Each one of these it pretty much takes on a different color because it's a different fiber. The fibers themselves are all different types of fibers in your body. One of them's real strengthy, and one of them gives you a little more stretch, and one of them a little rubbery, and one of them's a complete plastic bag, that type of thing. It's just amazing, the variety. Now, this would be the kaolin clay. Then you also get down into some deeper, like muscle sort of clays. That's when you get into your bentonite. But the skin, basically skin, is kaolin clay. And they use the kaolin clay on your skin for skin treatments. Now all these little balls are these balls that they find all over the place. You see these? Those are Moki marbles. That's those balls. That's because the skin has eroded and all that washed away, and now they're laying on a basement layer, which is a tough layer. Same thing here. This is over the United Kingdom. That's the kaolin clay, the kaolin clay. It's eroded away. This is the red fleshy stuff, which I would say probably is more to the bentonite side, and it's coming down here and making mud, and all the balls are sitting in the mud now. They washed out of that wall, and these are bigger than those, but they're still the same deal. They come out of flesh, where it's holding your fleshy stuff, your right underneath your skin. It has to rip and move and this and that way, and then come back, and that's what the balls are there for, to bring it back to where home position, as we used to call it. Now this is where it gets cool. Why did this turn into salt? And why did this other one here, the bentonite, turn into clay? What's the difference? Why would it do that? Here's some more salt. These are salt spires. Why did that turn into salt instead of turning into bentonite clay? All right, we saw the bentonite clay, and got the same sort of colors, same sizes, absolutely enormous. But it's clay. Why? Research exposes shocking health risks chemical found in popular everyday products. Well, yes, food. Glyphosate found in there. They spray it right on there before you eat it, and then it kills the bacteria in your body. And that was in your body is the stuff that's supposed to support this, which is a crucial role in balancing gut bacteria. Well, all of a sudden, these are bacteria. These are living little creatures. They're living little creatures. They're biology. They're plant life living in us. We eat the glyphosate, which they spray right on the crops just before you eat it so they can dry it out. It's called desiccation. And that's what kills the bacteria in the bodies of creatures. And then they get sick because they don't have the right gut bacteria. This is simple stuff. A balance of gut bacteria play a crucial role in how MS, multiple sclerosis, develops. And they found it in every other type of disease as well. Gut bacteria is the whole key. And here's the way it gets absorbed, through here. And if you don't have the right bacteria in here to create the right enzymes, you don't absorb the food. This all works together. It's a whole big process. The body and the earth is just the same. Look at this. This is start thinking about, the reality of what we got here. Blood falls. That's blood. And that's because it's melting. This is Antarctica. It's melting and coming out of the creature's body. And these things are so big, they can gush blood for hundreds of years. Here's some more. Here's some more blood running out. And this is happening all over the world now because the things that are in the earth are starting to warm up. Because the earth is taking on heat, a lot of heat. And when it does, the biology breaks down and the things start to flow. And then you get colors change because the bacteria starts to take over. You get reds and greens and yellows and oranges and blues, all kinds of colors. And that's what we got coming out now. A lot of rivers are changing colors. And volcanoes are starting to erupt because there are covered up biology that's been festering under there and had, it's been kind of cold enough to keep it under submission, but now it's warming up, and when it does, you get these huge releases of gases, and that's primarily what causes everything. And then if you continues to crush it and keep it compressed, then it goes off explosively.
So that is it for our compilation today. Please take a second to like this video. That will help out my channel, and share some of your thoughts in your comments. I'd love to hear your opinions and engage with you all. Have a wonderful Wednesday evening, and I will see you all in the next video.